Mm-hmm.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome,
What's up?
welcome to the third episode of the Ultra Running News Network. Kind of got a jam-packed episode. We're going to go over some of the results from this last weekend of racing. Racing has started up already. I mean, we think
Not
of
gonna
this
lie.
as the off season, right? But
Yeah. I'm stunned.
it's
Like when you and I started talking about it, I was floored how many there were to go over. I'm like, dang. So
yeah, it's not April, May when stuff starts up anymore. It's going all year round. So, but that's good,
yeah,
gives people something to do over the holidays and in the winter. So, how you doing, Johnny?
doing good. Sitting there and looking at some of the stuff from some of the voting for what we're going to talk about a little later. Like you were talking about how many races there were last weekend, which got me looking at like, well, how many are this weekend? Like you said, it's insane. So I better start getting some stuff in order if I plan on getting some running in. Evidently, like the season's starting way earlier than it used to.
Yeah, no doubt about that. All right, well, let's go ahead and get into some of the results from some of the events. We have Across the Years, which is a race in Arizona. It's in Phoenix, the Glendale, Arizona neighborhood in Phoenix. And this is put on by Aravaipa, Jamil Curry's race company. And it starts on a Thursday, or starts, on December 28th. So a few days before New Year's. And it's called Across the Years, right? So it starts in 2023. Some of the events are long enough where they go over into 2024. It's on a 1.4 mile loop, I believe. And
Probably one of the better well known, right? Like aside from
yeah,
bigs and like probably one of the better well known timed events nowadays. Like it's really gained a lot of attention the last couple of years.
it has. And they've been live streaming it on
Yeah.
YouTube, which makes it interesting if you're following any of the races or anything like that. They just have a camera set up stationary at the point where everybody comes through. So yeah, so it's pretty interesting in that regard, and
Yeah.
it is probably the most popular loop timed event this time of year. And that's one thing that Johnny and I were just talking about, is there's quite a few of those timed event races going on.
So many more than what used to be. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I've always just been stuck in the trail world, but like hearing so many more of these loop courses coming about and like timed courses and stuff like that. This is a weird one where like, I'm lucky enough to work for an employer that gives us the last week of the year off. So, I mean, I've done dumber things, so
Yeah, I honestly I didn't know what to expect when I tried that New Year's one day last year,
yeah.
and I actually was kind of surprised at how much I did kind of like it. You
Yeah.
don't have to carry water, nothing. You just complete your lap and just slam some water out of your water bottle sitting on a table, and
Keep on keeping on.
listen to some music or some podcasts, whatever. But okay, let's go ahead and get into this. So the 200 miler, which is one of the events, right? There's several events. Was won by Remo Spagnol. He did. He's first place overall, first place male. He did 200 miles in 57 hours and 25 minutes. That's pretty fast. Hannah Carter was first place female. She did 200 miles in 71 hours and 17 minutes. Then we have the 100 miler, which was won outright by the first place female, Ashley Paulson. So Ashley, she's a really, really good runner. I think she kind of got well known 2 years ago in Badwater 135. There was some speculation that maybe she had cheated somehow or rode in a car or something, but they did their investigations, and it turned out that it was a false accusation. It did not happen. And just to kind of prove her point, she came back to Badwater 135 this year, and she won Badwater outright, like in 21 hours and some odd minutes. So she's a heck of a runner, and she.
Oh, by the way, turn around and then did this too.
Yeah,
right?
like
pretty cool story. Like,
Yep.
got some notoriety in a not so great way, and falsely, you know what I mean? Like, falsely got that notoriety. So really cool to see, a big win at Badwater than this win. So it's a really cool story.
Yeah, no, good for her. And
Yeah.
She not only won this 100-miler outright in 14 hours and 37 minutes, like she completely crushed the competition. I mean, the first place male, which was the next person that finished, was 17 hours and 14 minutes. So almost 3-hour difference. Sam Burt was the first place male in the 100-miler. Then the 24-hour event was won by Zachary Bates, and he did 125.4 miles in 24 hours. And then Alyssa Jones was first place female with 122.6 miles. And then moving on to the 48-hour event, Rachel Entrikin, first place overall and first place female, 212.7 miles. And first place male was Matthew Shepard, 142.3 miles on the 48-hour. So congrats. And another female winning outright, which is cool.
Yep.
72-hour event. First place, Troy Allen, and he did 235 miles. First place female, Shauna Wentlet, 211.3 miles.
Do you know Troy Allen?
No, do you?
I have to do some investigation on that. We might know Troy Allen.
Okay. Yeah, I
just now realized that. Maybe. I want to put a major maybe on that. So you said that name. I'm like, wait a second. All right, cool. Very cool.
Yeah, no, we'll have to look it up. I don't want to delete off of this page, but
yeah.
So it's for the 6-day event. The winner, first place male, was Nels Madsen, and he did 440.9 miles. That's in 6 days. That's a lot of miles and a lot of days to be outrunning.
That's brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. I'll do a 6-hour, maybe a 12-hour. Maybe it would drift into like doing a 100-miler on a 1.4-mile loop, something crazy like that. But 6 days, no thanks.
Yeah, 60. Yeah, I think a 24-hour on this course would be really, really fun. Like I'm saying this not knowing what the elevation is of it.
Yeah, I think it's pretty flat.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Lisa Marie Fosdell Griffin was first place female, 355 miles in 6 days. Okay. And there was a 12-hour event as well. First place overall and first place female, Natalie Larson, 70.4 miles, pretty strong showing. And Alexander Belos was first place male with 56.3 miles. So congrats to them. And lastly, the 6-hour event. First place male and overall is Matt Bell, 35.2 miles, and Marilee Wardian with 33.8 miles was first place female. All right, and then also this is kind of cool. They have a last man standing event, Johnny. It's so this 1.4 mile loop or 1.42, whatever it is. Basically, everybody that starts has 20 minutes to complete the loop. And then it's just like a backyard ultra where you have to be on the starting line, at the start of the next 20 minutes. And the winner, the last person standing, it was Michael McKnight. And he's a long distance specialist. He's really good at like the 200-mile distances and the through hike distances and things like that. So he was the last person standing, and the assist, which is the person that was hanging with him right up till the end, was Maya Detmer, and she did 138 miles. Michael McKnight, the last person standing, was 139.5 miles. So that's it for across the years.
Cool race. Very cool race.
Yeah.
If I go a little silent, because I'm going down a super nerdy rabbit hole to see if this is the Troy Allen that we do know, because that would be absolutely wild. This guy, if it is the Troy Allen, I think it is. He's actually from Central Ohio and moved out west. So I'm down a nerdy rabbit hole now. So.
All right, cool. Let us know what you find out. Snowdrop 55-hour race in Missouri City, Texas. It's a 6.69 mile loop course. First place and overall is Megan Eckert, so another female first place overall winner. In 55 hours, she did 218.87 miles. And then the first place male was Juan Acevedo, and he did 207 miles. So congrats to them. Charleston 100 miler in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. I really don't know too much about this race, but first place was Chris Varnadell, and he did it in 15 hours and 29 minutes. Christina Cooper was the first place female. She did it in 17 hours, 12 minutes, and 58 seconds. All right.
I think that's a cool race too, in the sense that, I mean, Arizona, right? Like you have, it's Arizona. So yeah, there's a chance it gets a little chilly. But like this race, I mean, yes, it's South Carolina, so it's not like you're up north, but still, like these races that are starting to creep out into parts of Texas, out into like, South Carolina and stuff like that. Like, I think it's really cool that they're holding, ultras this time of year, because, that can get ugly fast. So
yeah. No, it is interesting, with the weather these days, and maybe that's something we can talk about in a future episode.
Yeah.
I recently seen Andrew Jones Wilkins, AJW, his write-up about predictions for 2024, and one of them was extreme weather events, extreme weather races, because you do see the extremes with the heat and these crazy storms and everything these days, and the wildfire smoke and everything else. So yeah, that will be interesting in the future. Here's a race that took place in Ohio, somewhat near you, Johnny.
yeah, out in New Carlisle. It's like, I don't know, probably hour and a half ish, 2 hours, probably not 2 hours, probably hour and a half ish, kind of west of me. And this is exactly, I mean, there's your proof right there. I mean, look at that photo. You know what I mean? Like, New Carlisle, late January, or I'm sorry, early January, late December, you could have no snow like we had this year. You could have 3 feet of snow. I can't wrap my head around getting ready for that. You know what I mean? Like, you have got to be the most easygoing, like, give me what you got kind of person ever. So
Yeah.
major kudos for the folks that not only won it, but that just even ran that. Like, that is glutton for punishment, without a doubt.
Yeah. So it looks like it takes place on a farm, maybe where a distillery is or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I'm not sure if it's a loop or yeah, it has to be a loop. I'm not
Yeah.
sure how long the loop is, but at any rate, there is an 8-hour event, and I believe there's a 4-hour event, but they must not had anybody sign up for the 4-hour event this year. But the winner of the 8-hour event was River Spicer with 53.65 miles. And that was first place overall. And then first place female was Virginia Bibb Golden with 37 miles. So congrats to them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm all covered up in bed, staying warm. That kind of.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we did the little hiking out at Sequoia National Park over the New Year's weekend. And,
There you go.
it was, high 20s, low 30s, but no wind, so it really wasn't even that bad. Okay, so here's this New Year's one day. This is the event that I did last year in the Sideways Rain Atmospheric River. It used to take place at
You dominated.
Field. Yeah,
yes, you dominated.
Fifth place overall, no big deal.
Yeah, don't mind me. Don't mind me.
In the 6-hour event. So this year they had to move the event because the Golden Gate Rec area, they will not permit races anymore that go overnight. I think it had something to do with Dean Karnazes getting attacked by a coyote at night in one of the races. But anyway, so they moved it to San Jose, and this New Year's one day, there's a 6-hour, 12-hour, 24-hour 100-miler. In the 6-hour, Dominic Vogel was first place with 46.42 miles. And Caitlin Spees, first place female, 42.29. In the 12-hour event, Robert Cross, 70.1556 miles, first place male. First place female, Linda Schultz Lewis with 51.58 miles. In the 24-hour event, Akeo Marai, 118.6455 miles, and she won it outright. First place male was Daniel Chang at 109.36 miles. And then finally, they have a 100-mile event, which looks like there was only 2 people. So first place, Kevin Moore in 16 hours and 54 minutes. All right.
I'll tell you what, in a weird kind of way, I'm over here poo-pooing a 16. First off, not poo-pooing a 100-mile finish to begin with. Not poo-pooing a 16-hour. But to be able to do 100 miles in 16 hours, 17 hours, and just you, right? Like, you don't have any other 100-milers like pushing you. Like, that's pretty effing cool, man. Like, that'd be a lonely ride to be out there. It's just,
Yeah.
I know there's other there's definitely other runners around you, but it's like there's that drive of like, oh, I have competition, and this guy was like, no, I mean, I have the guy that's like 9 hours behind me, or the person that's 9 hours behind me, but that's good on them. Good on them.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely takes some mental fortitude, especially going around a 1 mile loop. All right, and then the last race that we're gonna go over results is the Resolution Run. This is in Greenville, South Carolina. Another looped race. In the 12-hour event, Michelle De Silva, she was first place with 66 miles. Actually, it was tied with Todd Albertson. So Michelle and Todd were first place male and female, and they tied for overall first, 66 miles in the 12-hour. In the 6-hour, Brandon Edwards and was first place male with 44 miles, and first place female was Jennifer Coleman with 33 miles. So congrats to them, and we'll get on with what we are going to talk about today, and that is the Keeping Trail Running Weird Awards that Ultrasignup is putting on. We're going to go over the different nominees and kind of talk about what their nomination says about them. And just a reminder, voting for this ends January 5th, so that's Friday. So if you want to vote for this, you should get your vote in. It's kind of a cool contest that Ultrasignup does every year. So we're starting with the best dressed. Best dressed is the first category we're gonna go over, and the first nominee is Bryce Johnson. And
solid. Good
yeah,
one.
you got to admire somebody that can proudly wear many different colors.
Yeah.
In a race, and let's see. He is recognizable for his colorful outfits. His jorts. Apparently, he wears jorts. That's jean shorts for all you Urban Dictionary illiterate folks out there.
I cannot wrap my head around the chafing that happens in the jorts. So bad.
I think they make some like running shorts that look like jean shorts.
Yeah. Who is that? Who is that company? Yeah, you're right. There's definitely some.
I seen somebody in my first 100-miler ever, which was Burning River. The first time when I didn't finish it, I seen somebody wearing those running shorts that looks like jean shorts, and I was I just couldn't wrap my head around it. Like, what are they doing? Why are they wearing jean shorts?
And just think, back in the day, many moons ago, like that was the go-to, right? Like that was it.
Absolutely. Okay, I guess he's also his vibe is very inspiring and amazing. Yeah, so that's the first nominee. The next nominee is Charlotte Corher, and Charlotte, so
I think the picture speaks a lot. Like the picture says a lot, right? Like, I mean, like
she's creative. She's creative, and apparently she wears different costumes, themed costumes related to each race she does. So definitely have to give a lot of credit for someone that, not only puts time into preparing for races, but also puts time into designing the costumes, to go with the race and everything like that. I guess during the Yeti 100, she dressed up like Dolly Parton. She dresses up, different race, different costume. She's run 265 races of marathon or longer, all in a unique costume she makes herself. So that's pretty impressive.
Dude, like the amount of effort, she's putting the effort into getting ready for the run, and then she's also doing like all this costume design and all this kind of stuff. That's a lot of work. That is a lot of work.
No doubt. Yep, absolutely. The next is Scott Traer, and Scott Traer is a professional runner, coach, race director, and he has a thick Boston accent, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
and he wears the white button down and bedazzles with the white button down. You've worn the white, like not white, but you've worn the button down shirts, right?
I love me the button down. Like I don't quite look like Scott looks in the button down, but I'm here to tell you, if you have not ran in a button down, it's the way to go. It is. It's nice because you start getting hot. You can open them up a little bit. Like you start getting like all right, like let's close it back up. Like I am a big fan of the button down. I love me some Patagonia, so that's
Okay.
sort of part. It's the Bandito is what it is. It is a great shirt. Like yeah, I have multiple. Oh, Run Rabbit, they have multiple ones too now. So it is a
Oh,
thing.
rabbit, yeah.
Yep, Scott and I are making it a thing. I mean, jump on the bandwagon. Let's go.
Yeah, there
So
you go.
button down shirts.
There you have it. All right, and this is Kelsey Long, and Kelsey is a Navajo ultra runner and triathlete, and she runs in bright colors and traditional Navajo ribbon skirts, which is really
Love it.
awesome.
Love it.
She actually made that skirt herself, and yeah, just wears bright colors and earrings, has an amazing smile. So yeah, good for her. Good for her,
Yeah.
representing the Navajo. And then finally we have
I mean,
Yuki
let's just.
Charney.
We don't even. Yeah, we don't even need to get this nonsense out of here.
Yeah, so she's a New York Yankees stormtrooper, I think this is. Yeah. That's for the New York City Marathon. So so she was nominated. That's a pretty crazy outfit.
I mean, just I know like she can take the L with that Yankees nonsense. So
yeah. Yeah. All right. Okay. And I do have one quick story about best dressed or costumes in a race. So Nick Longworth, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was in Woodstock 100 the one year, and I was crewing with a bunch of other people. We were crewing him, and so he's on the nighttime loop at Woodstock 100, and some guy in front of him is in this shark costume, okay, like a full on shark, and he has the shark eyes are in the back, right?
Yeah.
So the shark forgot his headlamp out on that loop and asked Nick if he could run in front of him and use Nick's light,
Really? Yeah.
And so he did it for a while, but the eyes were glowing in the light and just
Freaking him
staring at him.
Yeah.
And it was just freaking him out. It's like he got, I think he lasted with him 10 miles or so. And he's like, you're on your own, man. I can't.
Yeah, I gotta
His
go.
eyes are staring at me.
So that's weird. So I am like 99.9% positive about this. That is two weird costume stories that involves Nick Longworth at the same race the same year, because isn't that the same year that Chad Hill paced him and wore the fairy wings? Like there's that picture that floats around like on the Possum page of Chad Hill and the fairy wings. Chad Hill, not the smallest cat, played college football, pretty big dude, and he looks hilarious with like the little fairy wings on, like a Tinkerbell looking wing. It is awesome. So that
is
weird.
Awesome. I could not stop laughing about the fairy wing. His post was like, when you find fairy wings in the woods, you have to put them on.
Yeah, good. That's a good day for old Nick out there with multiple costumes at the same race.
And then I ran into the shark guy at my second Burning River, which I did finally finish. But I ran into the shark guy. He was out running Burning River in the shark costume.
That's dedication to
Yeah, I guess he does all kinds of races in it. But anyway, moving on, best pacer. All right, so we have Chris Morrison, the ultimate friend. He was nervous, or the runner, she was nervous about hitting the cutoff for her second ever ultra. Chris, it was a 50K. Chris volunteered to run the entire race with her so she can get to where she needed to be. The race didn't allow pacers, so he registered under his own name. Their last finishers came in with 90 minutes to spare. Emotional lows weren't as low as they usually are because she had a friend, and took 13 hours and 30 minutes to finish. Chris can run the same course in half that time. So Chris,
sounds like it sounds like he's not a pacer. It sounds like they dry snitched and cheated.
No, he registered. He registered. Dave Peace, a legend to learn from. What sets Dave apart is an unwavering commitment to helping others, and selfless dedication, experience, and mentorship transform a daunting challenge into a shared triumph. He helped a fellow 60-year-old through their first 100-mile race, and two runners overcame the impossible. So good for him. And then Honora Einhorn, she is super encouraging with a mega super hard work ethic. Nora has paced me for 7 100-milers this year alone. Wait a second. What?
Like, if you've done 700 milers, why do you even need a pacer, right? Like, you've got that stuff figured out on your own, just running on your own. I will say, Nora, look, like, is it Nora? Her name.
I think it's that's her name for short.
Yeah,
Nora.
I mean, she looks like an absolute bat. Like I'll tell you what, she's not going to let you feel sorry for yourself. Like that photo,
right?
Like, oh, my feet hurt. Shut up, get up. You know what I mean?
Like super encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah. Belittling you.
Yeah. So she was head crew and paced 40 miles at Badwater, paced 40 miles at Leadville, 20-ish miles at Ouray. Oh my gosh.
So I mean, the runners are like, so one, this runner's a badass. Two, Nora's an absolute beast, right? Like,
I mean,
she's a beast.
And not only a beast, but selfless.
Yeah.
Like, going to all these races, you know, and pacing and crewing all over the country.
Sounds like Mama Meeks, doesn't it? Sounds like trail run Mom Meeks. Deb Meeks, yeah.
Does.
Very cool. Very cool.
All right. Next is best pacer Chad Colston, non-runner. I like this one. Not a runner. He's never ran over 5K. The husband to the runner jumped in and paced for 34 miles at Hennepin.
I love so much about this. It just tells you, it just really demonstrates what happens to you at the last quarter of a 100-miler. A non-runner who has never ran more than 5K paced me for the last, however long of a 100-miler. It speaks volumes for what has happened to you at the back half of that 100. I love it. Love it.
No doubt. That's a funny one. And then Sabrina Hauk, the right snack at the right time. She was a pacer for the last section of Cocodona, which included the final 2,000-ish foot climb to the top of Mount Eldon. They were summiting around 11 p.m. in the dark. The top, there were winds of 40 to 60 miles per hour, blowing them all over the place. We made it to the aid station at the top, sat down to warm up. The aid station volunteer came over and asked if they needed any food. At that moment, Sabrina pulled out some still warm chicken tenders and JoJo's from her iconic yellow puffy
That's awesome.
and said, "We are good. I carried these chicky strips and JoJo's up the mountain for her and my puppy."
Oh, never mind. They're a little moist. They're just a little moist from being in the puppy.
Well, you know.
That is awesome. That
But
is
they were still warm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those were the best pacer nominees. Now we have best race day fail.
Oh my god.
This has to be my favorite category.
Yeah. This is it right here. While you get this, all right. I love it. Here we go.
You want me to wait?
No. Well, I just want to say the other thing that really blows my mind about being a pacer, and the last person really kind of illustrated this, right? Like even a 2,000 foot climb at the end of a 200 miler, which Coconut is actually 250. The amount of patience that you have as a pacer is like insane. You can't be like, let's go.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be like, yeah, but like there better be a time issue. But like the level of like, it's cool, man. I'm out here all day with you. Like it's all right. You know what I mean? Like it's and like I love that. I love that about pacers.
It's a huge commitment.
Oh,
it's
massive.
a huge commitment. All right, so let's jump into this race day fail. The first one, right? Like starting off kind of strong here.
Super strong. God, that hurts looking at it.
Wipes Tara Dower, epic cactus attack at Javelina Jundred. Apparently, she must have wiped out into some cactus.
Apparently.
Speaking of wiping out at a race in the desert.
Happen to know somebody.
Yeah, this person's not a nominee. However, they did wipe out at the finish line of Black Canyon in February.
And
in front of the live stream.
Let's just roll the live stream. Yeah, let's just roll it and see.
AJW and I can't remember the other guy's name who's commentating.
Let's see if anyone can recognize. Let's see if anyone can recognize this person.
He's an awesome guy, the other guy that commentates. I can't think of his name. I do apologize about that. But anyway, here is that person.
See if anyone can recognize this fine fellow.
We got a couple more, or a finisher in the pace.
Oh!
Whoa! Whoa! That was like a Scott Jurek roll.
Oh, there it is. It's just like there they are. There they are. Outstanding. I love the reaction from the two gentlemen doing the live stream. Like that was it was so genuine. Oh, that was awesome. I love it.
There was a little dip at the finish line there. I was kind of going in too strong, and
that's why you gotta be slow like me, man. Take it slow and easy.
They ended up interviewing me on that live stream, and I told them what happened. I had already fallen like 2 or 3 times out on the course that day because there were so many rocks. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And I was pretty banged up, so it only was fitting just to wipe out right at the end.
You did at the very end, yeah.
The next best race day fail, Kelly Fegis. She had an unforgettable moment at the Snowdrop Ultra 55 hour, and she broke the bell during her attempt to signal her 150-mile lap. So I guess that's what they need to do at mile 150 is to ring the bell, and she broke it. The next race day fail is Amy McDowell. This is a good one. Amy flushed her keys down the toilet 20 minutes before the Sug Farm 20 miler. They were in the back pocket of her shorts, fell out. Her vest, headphones, and fuel were all locked in the car. So keys in the toilet, vest, fuel in the car. Locked.
Yeah, I'm just not running. I'm just not running. Like,
yeah. Well, kudos to Amy because she went out and ran the loops with a cheap water bottle. She finished the race, and her near panic attack and adaptation was great practice for upcoming 100 milers.
That's that view, by the way. I'm like 99.9% positive. That's West Virginia. That's rim to river.
Is that right?
I'm pretty sure that's that bridge in the background. That
cool.
you kind of like mess around. Great race, by the way. If anyone's looking for a race in West Virginia, rim to river.
Yeah, you've done that one, right?
I like it a lot. It's a really good one.
Cool. Yeah, I heard good things. Best race they failed, David Haunschmidt, and he got the biggest, weirdest blisters on the balls of his feet, 30K into a 60K mountain run. We're talking holes in his feet, managed to finish and podium in the highly competitive event. The last 30K felt like he was running on knives. That's just nasty, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Blister management. I mean,
yeah.
We all get a blister at some point, but man,
that's like, what's going on? Like, what's going on?
And then this one is even worse.
This is my guy right here. This is
Kenny
my
Garner,
front runner.
The Athens Big Fork Trail Marathon, which I think is that in Ohio or no?
Athens Big Fork.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Oh, that's in Arkansas. I'm sorry, it says right here.
I'm like, wait, there is an Athens and there is a Big Fork in Ohio. Like, wait a second.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of that marathon, the Bigfoot Marathon at Salt Fork State Park.
Not Big Fork, Salt Fork.
Anyway, so this is in Arkansas, known as the toughest trail race in Arkansas. He'd done it before, but this time he tripped and fell, busted his head wide open, looked like a murder scene, made it 2 more miles after the gnarly fall before leaving the race in an ambulance. And he was back to running 100 miles in a few months. I mean, I don't know if you all can see this. I'm going to do a full screen layout. That is straight up like Frankenstein, like head stitch there. I mean, yeah.
I mean, it looks like his eye is swollen from it. You know what I mean? Like, it looks like even down it through here.
Oh, it totally is. Yeah.
Yeah.
He took a shot. Yeah.
That's nuts.
All right. Wow. And then the last category. Oh no, there's two more categories. This one is favorite trail weirdo.
I mean, just imagine all the weirdos there are on a trail. There's so many. I mean, like you can throw a rock and hit like 5 of them. Like, just insane. This category could just be endless.
Good stuff. So Brian Coleman was out crushing the rocky course barefoot at the Rugged Trails of Cirque series. Asked, "Wow, dude, I have to ask, what made you start running barefoot?" He responded something clever, but caught my attention. We became great friends after that. His level of intellect is borderline genius. His words are philosophical. He's a weird dude, wears Hawaiian shirts. He was a preacher and a professor, now just chills doing stats for a credit card company so he can go chill on the trails. I recommend looking into his TikTok because he posts some really cool and nerdy, weird stuff, and I like it. So clever and barefoot, Brian Coleman.
The way you say clever and barefoot reminded me of Fat and Drunk's No Way to Go Through Life, son. Like, it reminded me of the way.
Funny, we just watched Animal House like a week ago too. I mean, I've seen it a million times, but just rewatch it. Fat, Drunk, and Stupid is no way to go through life. This guy, favorite trail running weirdo, Eric Brumbelow. First time I met Eric, he was dressed in a huge pink unicorn blow-up costume at 7 trails in Damascus. He's continuing to be a cheerleader for everyone while running his own races. Started his own trend of porta potty selfies, dubbed Brumbelowing. Porta potty selfies.
Oh, I gotta find that.
Okay. I'm feeling the weirdo vibe.
our Instagram might be following that. By the way, we have an Instagram.
Oh yes, Johnny set us up with an Instagram account. It's ultra running _news_network. So look us up. He's completely eccentric and a fantastic human, would do anything for a runner. There's no denying he is weird, but that's why we love him and get excited to see him at a race. Bacon wrapped Oreos. I don't know. He must like bacon wrapped Oreos.
That's not a weirdo. That's a effing genius. That's amazing.
That's a boss.
Yeah, that's a boss move right there.
Yeah. Okay. This guy, Chad Ultra, alter ego Chad Ultra, but his name's Jeremy McCubry, but his alter ego is Chad Ultra. He's the weirdest. He is the weirdest, they said. His running persona, he makes everything weird from clothes to how he acts. He believes he is God's gift to running. Total badass. Not only a total weirdo, he also volunteers at aid stations and cheers everyone on. He's the nicest dude ever. When he came up with his alter ego, it was the best and weirdest thing ever. He totally deserves this award. He looks like a fun guy to hang out with. All right. Now we have Mindy Littlefield, and Mindy is the glue that keeps weirdo trail running community together. Spent a day in the mountains, a terrible running game each summer, a random ultra marathon. She encourages us to run. She's always cooking up something fun and wild to keep them together. Warm crab salad and the backbone of the community. From making us howl at full moons to dressing as a lobster and eating warm crab salad straight from the tub. From game points on the Maine coast, she always has the best ideas to make a run wacky. Everyone needs a Mindy in their running circles. What do you think about warm crab salad on the run?
Dude, I don't want to be mean, but she can keep that boo shit up there in the Northeast. That sounds absolutely wretched. That sounds horrible, man. I can handle. That sounds horrible. No, I'm a hard no.
Yeah. I mean, I might be willing to try it if it was like a 50K and I was 25 miles into it. I don't know. That's a tough one. Okay, last trail running weirdo nominee, Jeff Garmeyer. FK tier, spicy outfits, trail wisdom. His sense of humor is unique, whimsical, and often a clever poke at the ultra running world. He also has no shame when it comes to his outfits. I see he's wearing the tiger t-shirt there. I don't know if you ever see that Corey Reese. He used to write for Ultra Running Magazine. He's written a couple books. He's from Utah. He wears that like rabbit onesie, like unitard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh my God. Like, wow. Okay.
Folks, have no fear. Have no fear. I have found AF_marathoner to get our selfies in a Porta-Johns, our Porta-John selfies. It has been secured. I will share out the occasional picture that he posts for us.
Excellent.
Outstanding.
Okay, moving on to the last category, most inspirational. And this is part one. Most inspirational, Andrew Glaze. And Andrew meets all the categories. He's inspirational, helps pace his wife, motivates others, has serious swagger in his fit or race attire, frequently fights gravity. Overall, a great guy that truly sheds light on how running is therapeutic for the mind and body. He provides grit, dedication, inspiration to challenge yourself, do hard things, demonstrates commitment and willingness to use his platform to inspire others to better themselves physically and as an individual. Smile or you're doing it wrong. So sounds like a pretty positive person.
Andrew Glaze is big on TikTok.
Oh,
And
okay.
that I think I've sent him. I think I've sent a couple of things to you about him. He is. There's not very many like running TikToks, like that kind of genre stuff that I really like, because usually it's like uber corny. It's usually a little too like gung ho-y.
Okay.
There's something about Andrew. He is his TikTok account is absolutely phenomenal, and whoever typed this up about him is spot on. Chef's kiss. Like he has a ton of videos where it's like he's pacing his wife, and like it's good shit. It's good stuff. If you haven't come across Andrew Glaze on TikTok, I highly encourage. As we're going through these, well, the ones that really jump out, grab my mind, I may make sure we tag Andrew Glaze and make sure we tag AF_marathoner in some posts, so that if people aren't already following them, they can find them on their own.
Awesome. Yeah, that's good to know. Thanks for the background. So I was wondering what his platform was, and
Yeah,
I do remember you sending me something about that a while ago, but
I think
I'll
he's
have to
firefighter full
revisit.
time too. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Good for him. Most inspirational, Verna Volker. She's such a wonderful leader in the running space, advocates for Indigenous people, and making waves with her organization, Native Women Running. She's unapologetically Indigenous and has gone above and beyond to make space for Indigenous runners. Founder of at Native_Women_running. She's a tireless advocate for Indigenous people in running and in life. I think that's super important, and I'm glad we have people like Verna and in the ultra running community. I think she embodies the spirit of ultra running. To be inclusive, and I think it's a really important cause, and it's good for her. I'm glad she's one of the nominees.
It's cool because you have her representing Indigenous population really strong and really positive, but we also had Kelsey from earlier in the awards under Best Dressed, who was representing Navajo really strong. So it is really cool to see the Indigenous population, like standing up for themselves and like just not being forgotten and not being just kind of like left. I mean, like I love that.
Yeah, it's great. It really is. It's good to see. We need more of that. Jen Shetler. Sorry, Jen Shetler is next for most inspirational. She DNF'd her first race last April, her first attempt at 100 miles at Umstead. It crushed her. She's been training for that race for 3 years. Instead of throwing in a towel, she grabbed a few running friends and started a social media group with them to help encourage and motivate each other. She figured out who's running what and where, and generally never run alone. Since then, her tough running club, Trail Plus Ultra Fun Fam, has over 170 members of all abilities, ages, paces, and distances. She takes pride in the fact that she has runners who've finished elite races like Cocodona 250 and Badwater 135, as well as runners who are working on finishing their first 50K and even trail half marathon. She's not only on track to finish Umstead this April, but she's already planning crew, pacers, and volunteers for the club because over 20 of them will be running the race. So, yeah, good for her. I always like to see these grassroots clubs that get started up, especially, for good reasons. And
yeah,
I think, with all this drama going on with the sport getting corporatized, you still have stuff like this of that. And I think it truly embodies the spirit of the community. And, so definitely a cool deal. And best of luck to finishing Umstead, Jen. I think you got it.
It's not like she has a good community around her. So
I have no doubt that she's probably learned from her last one. We all do.
She knows. She knows 100 times more than what she knew the first time.
Yep. Okay, Xavier Boyer is next most inspirational. The person writing this had the privilege of training with Xavier over the past year, seeing him handle success and failure with grace. He's been through adversity, but that doesn't build character, it reveals it. I've depended on him through early morning runs, long runs. I'm a better runner and athlete from running with him. He overcame innumerable hardships over the past year, including major surgeries following an assault, relearning to walk, and returning to running, lifting, and competing. He's truly an inspiration to so many around him, and his grit and determination to get better each day is amazing. That's pretty cool. I mean, I can see how hard it would be to make a comeback from something like that, you know, and getting assaulted.
Yeah.
And, you know, major surgeries and everything. And I don't know. I think, but at the same time, I think, you know, running can really lift people out of these hardships and make them better. So it's good to see the path that he's taken.
Yeah. Did you realize that there's actually two more categories of there's two more like groups of inspirational runners?
That's right. That was first the
part
first
one.
Part one.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. Well, now we need to go to part two.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Starts off with a bang, by the way. The first person in part two, like they're jumping right into the deep end with an absolute.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean,
Sally McRae.
Shit. Like
she's one of my favorite people in ultra running. I first heard Sally like many years ago when I was first getting into ultra running on the Trail Runner Nation podcast. She used to be a regular guest on there, and her laugh is just contagious. Like it's just the best laugh ever. And she's super smart, knowledgeable. And she's actually one that does strength training. You know, we all say we need to do strength training. We all need to do strength training. She actually does it. And obviously
her videos are insane of her doing strength training. I mean, they're just absolutely, and like, it's like all body weight kind of strength training too. It's a lot of like one-legged reaches and stuff like that. She's a super cool follow on Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. Just all around great person. She's inspiring, someone who feels like an inspiring friend when you haven't met her. Stories is part of why I started in ultra running. She's a mom doing this. She's gets scared and nervous and ran on a treadmill because trails were scary. She became an amazing mountain runner, helps us all dream and laugh. That's inspiring. She is very inspiring, and she's very humble. You know, I remember just being on Twitter back a long time ago, and you know, or Facebook or whatever, and she's just like, "What's everybody running this weekend?" and replying to everybody, and you know, it's just cool. So good. I'm glad she's one of the nominees. This guy is next, Jeff Waldmuller. He's like glycating down some snow here. I'm guessing at like Broken Arrow or something like that.
I did that at Western Reserve. I did that at Western States. Can confirm, not a great idea. Tore my ass up. Like it tore my ass up.
Yeah. The one year at Broken Arrow, there was a bunch of people doing that, and they got torn up. And luckily, I was just like, "Yeah, no thanks. I don't need any.
I'm good.
I don't need any ice burns on my ass."
Hurts.
So Jeff is determined to have fun, make new friends, help others enjoy trail running. On top of his everyday attitude on the trail, he showed extreme grit this year when he broke his collarbone, and a week later ran in the Leadville 100. What? I don't even know how that's possible. What he achieved at Leadville this year was astounding, despite setback after setback in a bike crash as an amputee athlete. His resilience and drive to continue forward is to be celebrated and recognized. As a paraplegic ultra cyclist myself, I look to other outstanding disabled athletes as motivation. Like, wow.
Sure.
Wow. So
he ran Leadville as an amputee.
Yeah, look, he is, it looks like his right leg. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and a broken collarbone? Like, wow. Like, you really got to be driven.
Yeah.
Wow. That is just awesome. Good job, Jeff. Dang. That's serious.
That's yeah.
All right. Next up, Greg Spike. He's a 75-year-old ultra runner, Vietnam vet, living with PTSD, has achieved 32 years of sobriety, and his strength will to get out the door each day is tenacious. Just like his latest 100-mile finish in August, Greg will stop and with a big smile greet every runner, hiker, and dog on every single run. His motto when things are good is keep smiling, and when things are bad is sure is a nice day. Either way, he keeps going and encourages others every step of the way of every race and run. He is humble, kind, passionate, and positive. He's known by almost every trail runner in the Eugene area. He even saved a woman's life when he helped her jump from a burning building during a run in March. Holy crap. This guy is a hero, man. Like, first of all, I'll say, kudos to anybody that has gotten sober, and also, our veterans with PTSD, kudos to them, for serving our country and dealing with it. And then, this guy is just gives me like aspirations, right? Like when I'm 75, I want to be able to go out and run a 100-miler when I'm 75. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be possible, but it would be awesome. But no, kudos to Greg for everything that he's dealt with, and yeah, definitely an awesome guy from the sounds of it. All right, now we got to go to part 3.
Down to part 3, yeah. As you get ready to read part 3, when you get ready to see the first gentleman in part 3, I want you to, before you look at his picture, I want you to kind of mentally picture the people that we run with, right? Like, think about the people who, we don't really use, but think about the people who crew you and I. Okay, so you have you have the same 3 people in mind that I probably have in mind, right? And kind of think about what their faces usually look like when you come into aid stations to see them, right? Go ahead and take a look at my first gentleman here.
Gene Richard Cherry.
I mean, look at that smile, man.
Yeah,
like
seems like a fun guy. Like,
just super nice. Like, I bet he has never once yelled and belittled his runner, like you and I have probably been through with the people who crew and handle us.
Yeah,
What a great dude. Like I love that dude. Just like looking at the picture, like that is a friendly cat, man.
Yeah,
I love that.
Very authentic smile.
Yeah,
you can just tell he's just super nice guy.
Yeah.
Incredible runner, always smiling, never gives up. Positive spirit and smile are contagious on the trail. You meet Gene on the trail in those moments when you want to give up, and Gene picks up, and his words lift all around to keep pushing on. He's the inspiration for our entire group and leads by example. Always the first to join in your success and helps motivate even when he doesn't know you. You can tell he is a person that cares about everyone and helps find the best in everyone. Yeah, I totally see that. Yeah. just from his positive attitude in the picture. I mean, just
Yeah.
Hopefully, maybe we'll run into him at a race someday.
That'd be super cool. Yeah.
Goldstein Little Eagle is next most inspirational. My friend G is a hell of a runner and a community leader. He's a crusader for addiction recovery, organizes multiple events in his surrounding area of Lame Deer, Montana, to engage people of all ages, to be active. He leads by example. Someday I hope to join him on his annual 20-plus mile run around Bear Butte Lake in South Dakota. Check his Instagram page. I'm sure you'll be impressed. That's, another person fighting addiction recovery and doing positive things with his life. That's great to see. Organizing multiple events, that's great too. We're talking about the corporatization of ultra running, but it's also nice to have the traditional, smaller community-based events. And, that's kind of how I came up in ultra running. And I know you did too, was with the community-based events. And there's just definitely something special about them. So great job, G. Solius Brachelius. I probably just butchered his name.
Yeah. Good on you.
That.
Good on
Solius, Saul. Okay, I guess Saul for short. I can do that.
Yeah.
Saul will randomly do things like a 300-mile loop around Puget Sound, 100-mile tire drags. What? Barefoot marathon? Traverses across Washington peaks. He does it all without a car to show you don't need a car to go on an adventure. He's run multiple long races, worked on himself, and embraces his realities of autism, and has not let the stigmatization dictate his life. Okay, so he's dealing with autism, and sounds like he just does crazy epic adventures, 300-mile loop around Puget Sound. So definitely,
it's pretty impressive. It's insane.
Yep. Absolutely. So yeah, a pretty strong field of inspirational runners, most inspirational runners, and just strong fields and for all the categories. So it'll be very interesting to see who ends up winning.
I will say, I hope people take time to read all of the stories, right? And don't just immediately go. Like I love Sally. I love Andrea. You know what I mean? I hope people don't like, oh, I know that name, boom, and vote for them. And like read some of those stories and some of the stuff that like why they are like inspirational people. Like there are, not to take anything away from those two folks, but there are some people that's in there that are just like normal, everyday people, right? Not elites, not super famous, that are just doing insanely awesome shit. So I hope some of those folks get a lot of votes and some big recognition out of this. There's some really good ones in there this year.
Yeah, no, it's a cool thing that Ultrasignup has put on the last 2 years, I think. So be interesting to follow it and see what happens. Again, voting closes on the 5th. So all right, well, I think we're probably over again.
We are well over, yeah.
But it was a fun discussion, and I guess that's all I have for this episode. Do you have anything else?
Just like Farley had mentioned earlier, just know we do have an Instagram account. So if you've made it this far in, even if you just scrolled to the end just to catch what we've said, we do have an Instagram account. Check it out. Go ahead and follow us there. Probably do more stories if we do anything else, just because there's not a ton of like cool shit to post. But we'll put some stories, keep you track of everything there. Like and subscribe to the channel, let other people know about it. if YouTube is not your thing, or if it's not someone else's thing, we are on just about every single podcast platform you can think of. We're on iTunes. We're in Spotify. So if there's a podcast platform out there, we're more than likely on it. So if you don't want to sit and watch YouTube, or if you can't have it in the background, throw us on a podcast. Go for a long run. You can listen to us going about this kind of shit for an hour and 10 minutes. You can get like a nice little run in while you listen to us.
Yeah, and if we're not on a podcast platform that you use, just let us know in the comments.
Yep.
And we'll make sure it gets up on that platform. But yeah, if you're still with us, thanks for tuning in. and I'm gonna go ahead and take us out. So
cool.
until next time.
See y'all later.
All right.